Welcome back here on the Sports Geek. Joe DeLeone here to give you three best bets for the NBA and college basketball. Just a quick look back at how we performed since the start of doing these daily best bets. We'll get an update on the Monday bets on the Wednesday taping just because of when we're recording this. We're recording it a little bit earlier than we typically do to try and get these out sooner. The outcomes of the Monday games are not fully finished, but just a quick reminder, we're currently sitting at 12-7 across all sports, 9-4 in college basketball, and 2-0 on the NBA. The three games that we're going to be talking about, we always do this on this channel. We pick the three best games that are worth watching, and we dish out betting picks in order for you to have a reason to sit and watch the games and to be enjoy it. I'm not going to be dishing out and giving you picks for the crazy in the weeds games that you need ESPN Plus or Flow Sports to tune into. And of course, the most important one that we have to discuss is Mavs traveling to play the Lakers. Lakers are currently favored at -8 at the current moment. Wouldn't be shocked if that line doesn't end up moving any further. 8 is the sweet spot for me to take the Lakers at -8. That's the first pick that I really like here. Anthony Davis is going to be out until March. He's been unavailable. We saw the way that this Mavs team just doesn't have the same juice when it's just Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was not the same level of dominant as the way that they played against the Golden State Warriors. They looked like they had a complete loss of energy, and they looked like they desperately needed that second option. With Anthony Davis out for this specific game, I am definitely going with the Lakers. And I'm definitely going with the Lakers, seeing how Luka and LeBron played in their last game against one of the hottest teams in the NBA, that being the Denver Nuggets. The first couple games, it was really easy to fade the Lakers because there was a filling out period. We were coming off of the NBA All-Star game. We didn't know if that was ever going to eventually click. Well, they clicked. And Luka played really freaking well. He had one of his best games of the season. I'm not coming out here to say that I think Luka goes for 40. I don't even really feel like that there's enough of a sample size, by the way, to even really bet on any of these player props for LeBron or for Luka because we just don't know how they're going to play together. But seeing how explosive they were and how very quickly, they took a hold of a lead and they carried it throughout most of the game. Going up against a banged-up Mavs team is a very secure and smart bet to take here in the NBA. And also, not the best trends to turn to because there's just been so much roster turnover between these two teams. There's been so many changes since the trade deadline. The Lakers are 16-10 against the spread at home. Always very consistently a great home team. Dallas is 12-15-2 against the spread on the road. So you have a clear matchup between one team that does not do well on the road and a team that consistently covers when they're at home. So again, taking Lakers -8 to cover against the Mavs. Second game, we got two SEC basketball matchups. Mississippi State at Alabama. Alabama currently favored on Monday night at -8. This Alabama team, since their loss against Auburn, has recaptured very quickly the momentum that they had for the long stretch they had throughout most of the beginning of 2025. It felt like against Missouri and against Auburn that something was a little bit off, but they reminded us of how good they can be at home the way that they played against Kentucky. I'm mostly, and I alluded to this on another video, I do a lot of NFL and college football betting. I do a lot of college football betting. That was what first got me into sports betting. We're going to be really in the weeds with those picks, and we're going to give some great analysis for a ton of games when the college football season comes around. But one of the things that I will always do is if somebody in a current stretch is giving me consistent results, I'm going to keep turning to them. So Houston right now is one of my favorite teams to lean on because they're hot and they're playing really well. Alabama covered against Kentucky. We took them against Kentucky and they covered. I'm taking Alabama again, -8 to cover against Mississippi State. To add into why I feel pretty good about this, Bama is number 1 in rebounds per game, total rebounds per game. They're not vastly better, but they're better than Mississippi State by a good margin, who's 32nd in the country. Alabama is 152nd in three-point shooting percentage, which isn't a great number, but Mississippi State really struggles in that category, currently ranked at 287. Alabama is the best two-point shooting team, and Mississippi State is weaker by a strong margin of at 44th. And then one thing just to pay attention to, and I was considering this, thinking about this, with how wide of a spread this is, because I like to have all angles here when we're talking about this, is Mississippi State is 8th in steals per game, and Alabama is 305th in turnovers per game that they're giving up, that they're turning the ball over. So if there is a route, a possibility that Mississippi State keeps this thing close, it's going to be because Alabama turns the ball over and they make a bunch of silly mistakes. But I still stand with Alabama being one of the best teams in the country, their offense being super potent, them being a great rebounding team, and them being good enough at home that they're going to win in this setting. Last pick that we have here for today's video, Florida -7 at Georgia. Florida's another team that is super reliable and easy to lean on. Florida is 16-7 against the spread after a win. They're coming off of a win in their last matchup, and UGA is 6-4 after a loss. Florida is also 5-3 against the spread on the road, which isn't enough of a situational trend to turn to as like glaring evidence that they're a great road team, but it's enough to know that they're a hair over 500 against the spread in road situations. But most importantly, this Florida team is freaking phenomenal. They're 9th in points per game. They're 3rd in total rebounds. They're 4th in average scoring margin. They're smoking a lot of the teams that they're playing. This Georgia team has been rocky. They have had a couple of close battles with the mid to top-ish tier teams in the SEC, but they're not built to go toe-to-toe with this Florida squad. Georgia is also awful at three-point shooting, which is like something that I always turn to. Rebounding, three-point shooting are two of the things that I have leaned on a lot for these college basketball picks that have been successful. And a lot of the times that I've been correct, I have turned to three-point shooting and rebounding. And a lot of the few 4 times that I was wrong, I blindly looked away in those matchups when I should have paid closer attention. But Georgia is 251st in three-point shooting. They are average to well below average in most statistical categories when Florida is incredibly dominant. So give me Florida -7 at Georgia. Let me know in the comments, folks, what other bets are you taking today? What bets do you like that you think are a lock to hit? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button and subscribe, and we will talk to you guys later.